We got a couple minutes left here. Let me ask you, since you said, come to El Salvador, it's pretty awesome. What are the things you're seeing that you're like most excited about here in El Salvador and with Bitcoin in general?
Oh man, it's all the people. And I say this because originally when I left Canada, my plan was to travel Latin America. I speak Spanish. I've traveled before, but going to a new country where you don't speak the language, which I don't know how some of you guys do it. I think you're so brave. I found that very difficult. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Latin America. I can speak Spanish. I can at least get by. And so the plan wasn't to stay in El Salvador, but I'm meeting all these people with great projects. And so I'm like, man, honestly, I don't see more upside. As someone in finance, you're always looking for, let's name someone like Warren Buffett, and you're looking for value. You're looking for that upside. And I think El Salvador is that upside. Right now, there's nowhere in the world, at least to my knowledge, that has the upside that El Salvador has. We've been through so much as a country, and now you have all these people that, like you said, are way smarter than I am, have way more knowledge, more experience than I do. And they're choosing here out of all places. People that have never been to this country are coming here to start something and to do something that aligns with my values. Like it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer at all. And so I can't wait to see what El Salvador looks like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, where I think people will be surprised when they arrive in San Salvador and they look around, they're like, huh, this is not what I expected. It's off the beaten path. I consider El Salvador to be like a litmus test. Litmus test? The ones who are here and exploring it are the ones who deserve to be here. And they're coming here seeing that there's so much upside to what's going on here in El Salvador. And I think that's what's going to propel El Salvador to the future is the people who are here, the projects that are here, the projects that are choosing this place. I mean, the incentive structure is there for anybody who has great ideas and feels like they're being constrained by where they're at. This is the place to be. And I don't doubt it at all. When you have all these people who have traveled all over the world and they're telling you the same thing, like there's just something special about El Salvador. Now, I am biased, this is where I'm from. So maybe I have this rainbow haze or whatever, just happiness, orange, let's call it the orange haze right in front of me. But I think for me, it was an easy decision and I can't wait to be a part of it. I think that's the biggest thing is I can't wait to be a part of it, to help propel the people here, help propel the country into being the place that we want it to be. I mean, I know it sounds cliche, but I'm just taking what Stacey said, but I really do believe that. I think it's the people that make El Salvador such a great place to be. And I have no doubt in the back of my mind that there's nowhere else I'd rather be right now.
It's the people are a huge part of it, and as somebody who, prior to Bukele saying he's going to make it legal tender, this wasn't.
Could you put it on the map? Could you find it on the map?
No, I knew it was like down there kind of near Costa Rica because I've been to Costa Rica to surf. I had some buddies that went to Nicaragua to surf and I was like, all right, cool. I think it's down there, and I just kind of had that, isn't it pretty dangerous? Like that's all you heard. And then you come down here and everyone is so nice. And I think part of the sort of, again, like my Spanish is not great. It's getting better. It's beautiful. I started studying it. When I knew I was coming for the first time, I was like, bam, I got on Duolingo every day. And I was just like, I'm studying this. So I just was like, I'm doing this. And I live in California where there's a lot of Latinos and there's, a fair amount of Spanish speaking happening, but obviously not like here. And then coming down here and I noticed, when I first had dinner with Max and Stacy, they were talking about they lived in Berlin when the wall came down. And they're like, it feels like that. The wall came down and East Berlin is like opening up and people are like, whoa, what's this? And new businesses poured into there. And now Berlin is this artistic hotspot. And, I was like, oh man. And I think part of the reason why Salvadorians, I mean, I've never been here prior to Bukele, so I'm sure they were nice back then, but there was probably just more like with all the danger. And now there's this like, yeah, we're free, man. Like there's this sense of let's do it. Anything's possible. You know, all of the, you know, being in like the central district of San Salvador when I was here, and people are hanging out, and that never happened before. And we went to, I think it's Tazamal,
the ruin.
Mayan ruins. We went there Saturday, me and a bunch of other Bitcoiners, and it was really cool. And then we went to Santa Ana to the Catholic Church, the big, beautiful in the central. And again, it's in this similar sort of, there's this plaza, and it was Saturday night, and it was packed, and everyone's hanging out, eating food, and families, and it's mostly Salvadorians. It wasn't like a bunch of tourists. And that's the cool thing. I've gone to some little beach towns to explore, like Los Cabanos, and it was also, I was like the only like tourist there. And I was like, this is cool that they're like going, this is like people, probably my guess was like people who live in Santa Ana, that's their beach town. And I was in Punta Roca surfing like a week or so ago, and that fish market and the boardwalk, and it was like, all locals. And I'm like, this is awesome, man. Like, they just feel like the people are like reclaiming their country.
Yeah.
With obviously the people who've been living here, but then folks such as yourself who like, you're coming back, you want to give back, you want to be a part of this. And Salvadorians now are all saying, I didn't used to be proud to be Salvadorian. Now I am. And that is palpable.
Yeah.
And that's part of the draw. Is I'm the opposite. I used to be proud to be an American. I'm not, you know, it's just this war empire, you know? And so those are sort of the, like some of the intangible things that are like, people are so nice. They're, you know, the country's coming off of 4 decades of problems. So there's a lot to be fixed, but it's being fit. Like you're seeing it. You're seeing just the roads in El Zante from when I was here in June to now, like that, you know, just you're seeing stuff and having, like, we had the Minister of Education on the show talking about what's happening in the schools and bringing nodes into the schools, and all the kids are getting, you know, tablets and Bitcoin is being taught. That's the thing. When you talk about 5, 10, 20 years from now, when this first generation of kids being schooled, just in better schools now because it's safer, but now they're being schooled on money and Bitcoin.
I had this conversation with someone that came into the store, and they were asking me, you know, where do you see this? How do you see the Salvadorans benefiting from the law, from Bitcoin? And to me, it comes down to the world is no longer, with the existence of the internet, the creation of the internet, the world economy is now really a global economy. You know, people now, especially after COVID, you can get a remote job, you can work from anywhere, and you can be anywhere. And so the way that I see it for Salvadorans is we are going to be, you know, the kids, the young generation, they're going to be the ones that are going to be, people are going to come ask them to be their Bitcoin advisors, to be their Bitcoin infrastructure people, to be, you know, to bring Bitcoin to their nation state. And that's an opportunity. So now the Salvadoran kids that were at a young age being told that they had to live within their village, couldn't leave the confines of their home because it was too dangerous, now they're going to be the ones that these nations from all over the world are going to be looking for that Salvadoran kid from these public schools that are taking these classes with, you know, through Node Nation, whatever it may be, where they're building their nodes. This is groundbreaking. And the young Salvadoran generation, I'm so excited for them. I'm so excited that they're going to have an opportunity that I think the parents, everybody who fought during the war, everyone who put in all that work prior to 2021, it's going to pay off. And that's what I'm most excited about here, is that these, you know, you have all these generations. You know, I look at my father all the time and the struggles he went through. I can't imagine what it would have been like to live through a war. And you're going to have this new generation of Salvadoran kids that are going to benefit from all that hard work that they've done. You know, it's almost like the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the land of volcanoes. And so that's an intangible, you know, it's something about this place. It's just so beautiful, something that you can't explain unless you're down here. And so these young kids, I cannot wait to see how this turns out for them. For the ones that are interested, for the ones that actually put that effort in, they are going to be the leaders of the new world, right? They're going to be the leaders of nation states are going to look for them to advise them. And they're going to be building this new world based around, you know, Bitcoin as our network.
Yeah, as Bitcoin becomes the world reserve currency,
Correct.
Which it will. I mean, as Max and Stacy say, you don't change Bitcoin, it changes you. But it's going back to your earlier point of before Bukele, you were looked down upon within the Latino community. That affects you. Of
course.
You know, when everyone's like, oh, you're one of. Conversely, as this grows and these kids start going out in the world, and they're the ones that are going to be big tech companies are going to be, oh, we got to get a Salvadorian here to help because we're going to try to make Bitcoin in Hong Kong or whatever. That's what's going to happen.
That puts such a big smile on my face. Like, yeah, it's that right there is just knowing that they're going to be looking for the Salvadoran kid. While when I was growing up, you know, that was never the case. That's what I'm most excited for
and sure. That, you know, in the same way the sort of like, oh, blah, we're looked down upon feeds itself. The like, oh, you're Salvadorian. You guys got that guy Bukele. You guys are awesome. That feeds this confidence that I'm just seeing of like, yeah, I'm Salvadorian. I'm very proud of this country. And because of the school system and Me Premier Bitcoin and these organizations, they're going to be the most knowledgeable people about finance, money, and Bitcoin specifically. And they're being raised to not fall for shitcoinery. Like,
it's great.
That's another purpose of this show is I did it. I've bought crypto and thought I was going to be like, we all kind of fell down that casino greed.
The incentive structure was off.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But here they've sealed it off to where it's like Bitcoin only, and it will, when this generation of these kids first start graduating, getting out in the world, getting jobs, going to universities, they're going to make this country better and they're going to spread around the world. Like when I was at the Me Premier Bitcoin meetup, I went to 2 meetups last week. They've got their curriculum in 21 languages. I was like, they put this map up and I was like, damn, that's huge.
Of course.
And that's the tip of the iceberg, 21 languages. But I'm seeing like Russian, Mandarin, you know, Farsi, and I'm like, whoa, dude, like this is.
And to say it came from here. Like, it's happening right in front of our eyes. It's fantastic. And so that motivates me to keep working. Mm-hmm. That motivates me to keep setting my personal bar higher. You know, I want to make sure that the information that gets across is correct so that we can all succeed in the future. You know, like you said, it's not just about take.
Yeah.
It's about give. You know, that's something that I grew up on. You treat people the way you want to be treated. You give what you want to get back. And so it just follows that incentive structure that I think is the right way for us as a society and as a human race to succeed. And so that's why, to me, that Bitcoin orange pilling moment was being here, seeing everybody around me, surrounding myself with the people that I really looked up to. And I haven't looked back since.
Well, Ron, it's awesome, man. It's been great to meet you and you know, see your store and have you on the show. Really appreciate it. Tell people where they can follow you when, you know, and again, when you come to El Salvador, Bitcoiners, you got to go to Zonte. That's like, you know, Vatican City or whatever for Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it. And the Bitcoin hardware store is now going to be a definite must stop when you come to this country. So tell people how they can follow you, and do you ship your products or anything like that? Or tell everybody.
Thanks, Graham.
Sorry, did I just put a bit? Did I just I'm telling you to franchise it. You're like, dude, I've been open a month. Like, let me just hire a cleaning guy.
I appreciate it. You know, it's been a long time coming, the project, and I've had the idea for such a long time. Thanks to my co-founder, Jamie. He's the one who really like pushed me and made me feel comfortable with wanting to do this. So Bitcoin Hardware Store, TBHS_SV on Twitter. That's where you'll find most of us. We're also TBHS_SV on Instagram if you want to look for us there. We have our website, TBHS.SV. Right now, we're not shipping. We are doing orders here in San Salvador, and anywhere in El Salvador right now, we will make it work. We will make it happen. So if you live in San Miguel, you live close to Berlin, shout out to Bitcoin Berlin. You're in Santa Ana. We were in Santa Ana recently at a meetup over there, in the meetup of Bitcoiners Occidente. So you want something, we're there. Ultimately, we want to be there. Like I said, we want to help those who are looking to be helped. Outside of El Salvador, that's something we'll be working on 100%, because this is, again, El Salvador right now is the focus, but ultimately it's the world. And so it's something that we'll be working on. Come visit us when you're in Zonte if you have any questions about self-custody in Bitcoin. You have any questions about Lightning? How does Lightning work? What is Lightning? How do I pay for stuff in El Zonte? Where in El Salvador can I use my Bitcoin to pay for things? Come to the Bitcoin Hardware Store. We'll help you figure it out. We have a whole list of projects that we'd love to support. BitDriver, the Bitcoin Farmers Market, Excellence Real Estate, anything that you're looking for that is Bitcoin related, we will make sure that you find the people that you're looking for, and making sure that you can do it in the hardest money to ever exist.